Ha ha hey hey. Ha ha hey hey. Ha ha hey hey. Ha ha hey hey. Once upon a time, two men went on a journey together. One was wicked and the other was good. Just like in the cat story, they traveled through thick, dense forests, up cold, glacious mountains. They came to a valley. Down that valley, they came to a rolling grassland with isolated shrubs and scattered trees. And from there, they proceeded even further and found themselves ultimately in the scorching heat of the Sahara desert. The wicked man suddenly stopped. Great sadness on his face. He took a deep breath, looked at the good man and said, "My food has run out. May I have some food, please?" The good man felt sorry for the wicked man, gave him some food, shared his food with him as they proceeded on the journey. Halfway through the journey, the good man's food ran out. The wicked man smiled a wicked, sly smile, opened a secret compartment in his bag, and in there was plenty of food. He took out some and started to eat alone. The good man begged and begged for food, and the wicked man refused. He begged and he begged. Wicked man refused. When the good man was on the point of starvation, the wicked man looked at him and said, "You want some food, eh? I'll have to take out your eye, and then I'll give you some food. Or you will starve. Up to you." And being so desperate, the good man agreed. And the wicked man, boom, took out his eye and gave him some food. And the journey continued. A couple of days later, the good man was hungry again. And the wicked man looked at him and said, "Yeah, you're hungry, eh? Huh? I'll have to take out the other eye, or you will starve. Yeah, and die." And being so desperate, the good man agreed. And the wicked man, boom, took out his other eye, and now the good man was completely blind. The journey continued. The good man holding onto a walking stick that the wicked man pulled along as they continued on the journey. By midnight, they came to a city. Outside the city gates was a big tree. The wicked man left the good man sitting under that huge tree and made his way into the city. And sitting alone under that huge tree, the good man heard some voices. They were not normal voices. They were magical voices. You see, this tree was used as a meeting place by fairies, jinns. And one jinn spoke. Leaves from this tree can cure blindness. And another jinn spoke. You know, the paralyzed princess, the king's daughter, can easily be cured if she is bathed in the blood of a black dog. And another jinn spoke. The city is so desperate for water. Little do they know, there is an abundant supply of water under the big tree in the middle of the city. And in the morning, when all the jinns had left, the good man groped about the tree, grabbed a few leaves, rubbed them onto his eyes. Immediately, he could see again. He made his way into the city, straight to the king's palace. And in the king's palace, he said, "Your Majesty, I know how to cure the princess. And the king looked at him and said, "Nonsense. I've tried every healer in my kingdom, and they've all failed." But the good man insisted and insisted, and in the end, the king gave in. And so the princess was bathed in the blood of a black dog. Immediately, she stood up and could walk again. The king was so overjoyed with this man, he gave him riches. And a couple of days later, as the good man was walking around the city, he came across the citizens of that city, desperately looking for water. He went back to the king, "Your Majesty, I know how to get water for this city. Just give me a few men." Without hesitation, the king gave him a few men. And with the help of those few men, the good man cut down the big tree in the middle of the city, and loads of water came out. The king, once again, was overjoyed with this man. He gave him more riches and married him to the princess. A couple of days later, as the good man was walking around the city, he came across the wicked man and told him everything that had happened to him, including the meeting of the jinns by the big tree outside the city gates. And while he was listening, the wicked man thought, I too can be rich, if only I get to hear what the jinns have to say. And so just before midnight, the wicked man went and hid very close to this big tree and waited for the jinns to start their meeting. At midnight, the jinns came and started their meeting. And one jinn spoke. "You know, the problem we discussed concerning the city, they've all been resolved. How is that possible?" And another jinn replied, "Well, there must be somebody who's listening to us and taking away our secrets." And another jinn spoke, "Let's hunt this person and deal with him." And so the search began. They found the wicked man, cursed the wicked man. Instantly, the wicked man was blind, totally blind and paralyzed from the waist downwards. They left him lying under that huge tree. And in the morning, as the good man was walking outside the city gates, he saw the wicked man under that big tree, blind, paralyzed. The good man felt sorry for him, lifted him, took him to his house. With the leaves from that tree, he cured the wicked man. And with the blood of a black dog, he bathed the wicked man, and the wicked man could walk again. And just before the wicked man left for his home, the good man gave him some riches. And on his way home, the wicked man reflected on his ways. But what remains unknown is whether he changed or not. And here I rest my story.